Hi everyone, my name is Cyan. This is going to be my second video for Root Gaming. So if you don't know yet, hi, I'm Cyan. I am a vlogger for Root Gaming now. Happened with the official relaunch. And for anybody that might not know as well, I'm very pleased to say that I'm writing for CSN Starcraft. So I've got a lot of really cool things going on for me right now. This week, I wanted really badly to do a positive video. Today, some really bad news came out about Life, where he's actually been charged, and the figure got released. He was getting like $60,000 to throw a map, which is insane. And I've been very busy. I've been moving. Obviously, I'm not in Kespa jail anymore. Uh, I've been moving, and I wanted to do. I've got a number of videos that I wanted to do, but after the news came out today, I wanted to do something kind of positive. And I'm trying to think really hard. I've been trying to think all day. What can I do? What can I talk about that's a particularly positive topic right now? And I gotta be honest with you, I couldn't think of anything, which isn't particularly great in and of itself. I've got a lot of positive stuff going on for me right now in StarCraft, but for the scene on whole, I can't really think about anything particular. I did a video a couple months ago talking about like my top things that I'm excited for this year in StarCraft. So I thought that what I could do, because I've got all this exciting stuff happening for me, and I'm trying to put myself out there more for you guys, for the community, maybe I can tell you how I got into StarCraft and esports as a concept. I can't really remember the last time I told this story, so bear with me. We're going to go completely off the cuff, mostly edit free, I think. So in 2011, I was starting university. I had always been a big nerd. In high school I played really hardcore competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Actually, that's my like competitive gaming roots. In 2011, I was just starting university. I had a laptop of my own for the first time that was capable of running games at all, and I was meeting lots of people who were really into video games and video gaming and nerd culture. It was really cool. I really liked it, man. University is such a good time. You get to meet people and share interests, and it's really cool. And one of my friends told me one day about this website called justin.tv, where you could go and you could watch South Park and Family Guy and The Simpsons or whatever, and it was all just streamed and it was free. So that was pretty cool. And one day I went and I checked out justin.tv. And for anybody who doesn't know, justin.tv was the precursor to Twitch. It was the first video streaming service, and it wasn't for gaming specifically. It was for anything anybody wanted. And a lot of the streaming culture today, if not all of it, is built on the back of Justin TV. Twitch was a subsidiary of Justin TV. So I would go into Justin TV, and on the front page, almost every time, there'd be a StarCraft tournament playing. And I had seen a documentary that the CBC did back when I was just a little kid talking about video games, because I've always loved video games, and I watched this documentary, and they had a segment about video gaming in Korea and how they were professional video games before the term esports was even really coined. And they talked about StarCraft Brood War. My first video game ever was Age of Empires and Caesar 2. So I played Caesar 2, Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2. Those were like my games when I was a kid. I used to play with my dad. We'd like share the computer and talk about how our missions went or whatever. So I was familiar with RTS as a genre. I liked it. And I kind of knew about StarCraft enough to be curious. So I tuned into my very first ever StarCraft 2 tournament. And it was NASL Season 2 Finals, I believe. And the very first match I watched was Demaga versus Braddock. And it was a ZVT, and it was so hype. I was absolutely blown away by this game. Zerg was this swarming alien mass thing. Terran was, obviously human, so it was easy to make a kind of connection. Buildings were blowing up, people were dying, blood was everywhere, ships exploding. Whoa! I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Ender's Game's my favorite novel. Like, oh man, the epicness of Lord of the Rings was like part of my favorite movie-going experience ever. Like, I was on board for StarCraft. Super exciting. So now whenever I went to Justin.tv, I would look to see if there was a Starcraft tournament on the front page because I didn't actually know how to access it otherwise. I just I didn't know what to do. And IPL was on every night. Pain User and HD were the casters. And I tried to watch just as much as I can, and I found out about Reddit through StarCraft. I think there was some reference to our StarCraft on a cast, I guess. I think that's right. So I mean, I wouldn't be on Reddit at all if it wasn't for StarCraft. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't afford the game right away. I was in university. I was paying my own way with just the money that I was making from working minimum wage retail job. Um, so I couldn't afford the game right away. And at the time, the free edition gave you Terran as your race. It gave you I think less than 10 multiplayer maps. It gave you the first 5 missions of the campaign, and you could only face Terran AI, and you could only set the difficulty to easy or very easy. And at most, you could face 2 AI at a time. So I downloaded the trial edition. I begged my friends. My friends were all playing League of Legends. This is, about a year and a half after the initial release of StarCraft 2, and my friends were never really taken with it. They were Brood War diehards, and same thing for a lot of people. My friends that I met in university, they had never really been taken with it. So I'd go over to their house, and there'd be all these parties and stuff. So there was partying like every weekend at this apartment, and it was great. But every like second weekend, I bring my laptop, right, and I'd beg, like, can we please play a game of StarCraft? Can we play a 4v4, please, or free for all, or whatever? And we'd play, and I sucked ass, and we'd play 4-player free for all on Lost Temple, and I don't think anyone would take a third base, and it would be freaking like No Rush 20 without actually being No Rush 20, and we were all so shit, but I was the most shit by far. So that was like my first, but I really wanted to get better because it was so cool watching these pro players and knowing that the skill cap was so high above where I was. I was so bad. And I was playing Terran because I could only play Terran, and I wanted to play Zerg, but I could only play Terran. So I used to go and I used to play versus the very easy bots until I could beat them, and the very easy bots used to fucking kick my ass at first. Absolutely. I didn't even play with like my left hand. I used to be all mouse. And I used to watch Nada. I had Philosophy 1000 in the mornings, and I used to watch Complexity's Nada play stream because that was like how the times lined up. Every morning when I had Philosophy, I used to watch Nada play and try and get as much knowledge as I could from just watching his stream. And as soon as I could beat very easy bots, I bumped my difficulty up to easy, and they kicked my ass. And I played and played and played and played and played on the like 3 maps that I had until I could beat easy bots. And the hardest that I could make the game was 2 easy bots at once. That was as difficult as I could possibly make the game. So I played 2 easy bots at once, 2v1, until I could beat them. Like, eyes closed, beat them. Somebody had made a hotkey trainer for our StarCraft, just a web page where it would say, it would give you a prompt for a unit or a structure, and you'd be like typing in the hotkeys as you went. So that taught me my hotkeys. So before I even owned the game, I was really trying my best to like do everything that I could to learn, And that summer of 2012, I could afford the game. So I bought Wings of Liberty, and I did my placements, and I got Silver League. And I was so excited. I was so fucking proud of myself. It was like I had only played 5 games on ladder, but I got in. So I won my 5. Well, I didn't win my 5 placement matches. I won like 2 of my placement matches, and I got placed in silver. And right away, I went and I made a post on Reddit, and I was like, you can find the post, and maybe I'll link it in the description. But this was like my first Reddit post that got over 100 upvotes, and I didn't even think for a second about the upvotes as I was posting. I was just so happy. I was so excited. And that was what my post read like. Like, I told them the story about how I've been playing easy bots for fucking the last year and how I haven't been able to afford the game, blah, 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 blah. Like what I just told you guys. And everybody was so nice and so excited to see my excitement, and so happy to welcome somebody new into the scene. And I got linked a ton of videos like Filter SC and Apollo's videos and Day 9 and Team Liquid and all this kind of stuff. And I was so thrilled to be a part of this really exciting thing, this big competitive esports game, that was like the biggest in the world, that had all this money behind it, that was so fresh and new, and it felt like a big deal. And that's why I like StarCraft. That's why I'm involved in StarCraft. That's why I still play StarCraft. When I got placed silver, I was thrilled, and I dropped to bronze like immediately. And I'd been playing Terran. I'd wanted to play Zerg. When I got placed silver, I was like, oh well. I mean, I'm a real Terran prodigy. I gotta play Terran. But when I dropped to bronze, I was like, oh, okay, well, starting from the bottom, let's play the race that I actually want to play. Let's play Zerg. So I played Zerg. As I played as often as I could, and I rose and I rose and I rose. And every time I got promoted, it was like this really big, like sometimes it was a really big sigh of relief after this thing that I was working towards for so long, and sometimes it was this really good fist pumping, like leap out of my chair. Like when I got placed to Gold League was like the most exciting thing that I've ever experienced in a video game, because it was so important to me at the time, and it was something that I wanted so bad, and it was this measurement of like, you're not shit anymore. Like, you've been putting effort into being some kind of good at this, and this is the benchmark. This is the benchmark for being not shit. No offense to all the bronze and silver players out there. I don't mean it, but that was my mentality. That was what I was looking at it as. And I fucking love StarCraft. It's so fun. I have not played nearly as much in the past year as I would have liked. I haven't watched nearly as much in the past 6 months as I would have liked, just because life, life happened. But I'm so excited to be given these opportunities, like to be working with Root Gaming, to be affiliated with an organization that has the history that Root has, that has the roster that Root has. Like Hydra's on Root Gaming. Like 6 degrees of separation kind of thing. I'm affiliated with Root Hydra. And to be involved with CSN Starcraft, like fuck. Well, Polt's involved in CSN Starcraft. 6 degrees of separation says I'm affiliated with Polt. And I'm really, really, in this week of such terrible bad news, like the life match fixing thing. Fenner's going to be playing exclusively Overwatch now, it seems. And the past month hasn't been good for StarCraft. I think that there's a lot of things that people can harp on about, and that there are really good points of discussion about what we could be doing for StarCraft, and this, that, the other thing. But I don't want to contribute to that this week. I don't think that I'm somebody that people need to be hearing from in terms of bad things right now. So I hope that you liked my little story about how I got into StarCraft. Actually, that story about how I got into the game, somebody had a contest when Heart of the Swarm was released. Like, tell your story about how you got into StarCraft and I'll buy you HOTS. And if not for that story, I wouldn't have been able to play HOTS, because I wouldn't have been able to afford it. And he gave me HOTS. So I love our StarCraft. I love the people. They're all so excited when good things happen. And I love this game. And I just want to take a breather from all this negativity right now, because there's just so much negativity, and let's just be positive. So tell me your stories. How did you get into StarCraft? I really want to know. As I said at the beginning of the video, I'm so proud to be doing these videos for Root Gaming. I'm so happy for this opportunity. So I'm gonna do my sponsor read now, and I'm gonna do these completely off the cuff every time I do them, so that I can visibly see my improvement, like I'm reading it right now. So thank you to Root Gaming and their sponsors, TT Esports, Esports Clothing, Esports Gaming, and Twitch TV. Thank you so much for enabling me to do these on your website. And shoutouts as well to csnstarcraft.com. Great website. I wouldn't have asked to have been involved in it if I didn't think it was amazing. Great resource for new people that don't know about StarCraft, old pros, people that want to learn, regular fans. There's something for everybody there. So I'm going to be writing for them a little bit. Please do check out my work. And thank you for watching. And please, in these dark times, let's not get too down on ourselves. Love you, Starcraft.